Now, when we talk about marketing for professional services, and let's pick on legal for now, is there a difference between visibility and credibility, or do you try to market both, or one with the other kind of thing, or you try to crystallize both? I guess.
Again, I think it's about knowing your target audience, and that is probably one of the biggest difficulties that lawyers and professionals have, is going to way too broad and trying to be the best for everybody when you actually need to narrow down and work out who your ideal client is. So credibility versus visibility is an interesting one. You can be very visible and not credible, because if you're not talking about the right things to the right people, then you've absolutely got no credibility, and no one's going to go to a professional for that. I always use the analogy of going to the doctor. You don't go to the doctor and go and talk to the BD person, and the BD person says, "Okay, I'm here to see you, Robin. Now pull down your pants." You want to see the doctor. If you're going to get, talk about your deepest, darkest medical challenges, you're going to want to talk to the doctor. Same with talking to a lawyer. You don't want to talk to the BD marketing team, but you also want to talk to someone who knows what they're talking about and is an expert in that area. So, the doctor analogy: if you've got a pain in your eye, you don't want to go and talk to a foot doctor. So I think that is the key. These experts, these professionals, we trust them with our businesses, we trust them with our lives. In many cases, we trust them with our health and our families. And so, without credibility, you are nothing really.
You know what, Chris? Many professions, they suffer from that, right? So there's that lowest cost denominator that everybody chases versus, are you good at what you do from a professional perspective, right? So I worked in the language industry. Still, I'm in the language industry for the past 23, 24 years. And professional translators, they study like lawyers. They go to university. Some of them are lawyers. They go to university. They study, the linguistic side of academia, if you will. And they always, now with commoditization, everything is getting commoditized, right? You can become a lawyer on ChatGPT in no time. And so, every profession is being targeted that way. And the biggest thing that we talked about for the past 20, 23 years is comparing translators to any other profession. And not just, my point is not just the lawyers who are going through identification of my credibility and I deserve the rate that I'm asking for. Many professions out there are asking for those. But there's always those lawyers or those translators that they're willing to take a lower rate, which sabotage the entire business model for the rest of the professions. So how do you balance all this?
I think with great difficulty. If I think about the Dubai market, for example, there are just past 4 million people population in Dubai, so it's grown substantially. But there are close to 200 law firms here, various sizes. But it's 200 international level quality level law firms here, let alone all the much smaller ones. There are thousands of those. It's not really a big enough market to serve, to host all those law firms, all those lawyers. If you go to an international quality law firm, you're generally going to get pretty similar level advice from all of them. They're all very well trained. They're all very experienced. They might give you slightly different opinions, which is why you always need to get more than one view if you have a legal issue. But it's very difficult to stand out from the others, because really you are very similar. It's relationships that make you stand out. The way you get your credibility out there that makes you stand out. But referral networks and collaborators are the difference. Word of mouth is the difference. But if you go to two international quality lawyers in Dubai who do pretty much the same thing, you're going to get very high quality advice, which is probably not going to be that much different in quality.